This is the Kingmaker of the Rock for the Girls. We're here, Star Radio, don't go nowhere, UK, London. We call them London. Oh, but yeah, we call them London. And that's how you know, have fun and stay blessed.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car, at home,
On your smartphone.
this is Star Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow. I say good evening and welcome to Niger Voices on Star Radio UK. It is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I say good evening to the team back in the studio. Good evening to you, all our listeners and viewers from around the world. And let's say welcome once again to Wednesday, the 14th of December, 2022 at 12 minutes past. And we go with our first track this evening like this. I welcome you as you're joining from around the world, and I say good evening and welcome to Niger Voices. To my producer, Mr. Frank David, Mr. Archie Amon, and to all those that are working behind the scene, I say good evening and welcome to Star Radio UK. As we're going into that final part of the Yoruba Nation movement, I'll be discussing everything that you need to know this evening. I say welcome, it is Star Radio UK, it is the Niger Voices. Let's turn it up. You can follow us on all our social media handles on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. It is All Star Radio UK, and this is how we do it every Wednesday right here in the studio. Shout out to my family, friends that are around. I say good evening to you. Shout out to the baby. Shout out to everyone that have joined us. And it is now officially confirmed the Yoruba Super Rally will kickstart this weekend. I welcome you to the one of the most beautiful platform. It is Star Radio UK. Every Wednesday, it's called Niger Voices. Shout out to the family back home. Shout out to everyone in Yoruba land as we are getting ready. Ogun State, are you ready? Ogun State, are you ready this weekend? Yes, so I say welcome on board for those of you that are joining us. It is the Wednesday evening. I say once again, shout out to my loved ones all the way, and shout out to those of you that have joined us. The Yoruba Super Rally start on the 17th of December. It is now officially confirmed. For those that are still in doubt, the Super Rally is now officially coming up on Saturday. If you've joined us on all the platforms, I say good evening and welcome once again. What do you need to know? Everything will be discussed here. And later on, I'll be looking at what Buhari said in the United States of America, that Nigeria is just too big. Every Wednesday, and this is how we roll it from the studio, it's coming up to 16 minutes past. We're going to go into the program in just about a few minutes. Akí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ètò Star Radio UK nírọ̀lẹ́ níbikíbi tí ẹ bá ti ń gbọ́ wa tí ẹ ti ń wò wá. Akí gbogbo àwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí, akí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé. If you've just joined the program and it is Saturday, everything is kickstart from Ogun State. Yes, so we are now countdown to the official of the Super Rally that will kickstart from Ogun State this weekend. We couldn't have been doing this without saying thank you so much to those that are behind the scene, from Mr. Archie Amon to Mr. Frank David and everyone. But tomorrow is the property hour. But tonight, it is All Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Ogun State, are you prepared for the Super Rally, where it's going to kickstart this weekend? Our coming out is not anything more than the fact that we are asking for the right to self-determination. I'll be telling you what you need to know and everything that is still bothering those of you that have a lot of questions around the Super Rally. Nǹkan kan là ń bèrè fún òun ni the right to self-determination. If you're watching us from any African country, just shout out to you there, and I say good evening, and this is Niger Voices. We told you it's going to come up, and it is definitely coming up, and that is all going to kickstart this weekend. I'll be discussing everything that Buhari said in the United States of America as the leadership summit between America and African leaders continue. What is the Ghanaian president also saying? Stop begging for aid. A Ghanaian president tell President Muhammadu Buhari in America. And that is our first track this evening. And I say good evening, good morning, depending on what part of the globe you're watching us from this particular hour. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and I'm going to be taking you through the program tonight. There is a lot to discuss uh, there is there's so much that we're grateful to as we continue, to explain to everyone that have joined us so far on this program that we have a lot, at any point of time. One thing first is we couldn't have done this program, in the last years that Niger Voices has been running without being, thankful. As a Christmas time is a very busy time to families around the globe, and this time, last year, so many families are going through pains in Nigeria, in different parts. But we hope that very soon, some of us, the pain will be a little bit relaxed. And how is that going to happen? That is when everyone agrees that we need to do whatever it takes, to protect our own territorial ground, which is the southwest part of what is known as Nigeria. The time is just 22 minutes past 1800 hours, and we're going to kickstart the program. But the most important thing I would like to say to anyone that have joined us on all the platforms tonight is good evening and welcome once again. Just about an hour or less, we came out through the conversation on the platform, our sister platform, where announcement was given by myself, and all other medias will be discussing that later on as well. And what is that announcement? This is the announcement, that a lot of us have been waiting for. This is the announcement that a lot of us have been asking, when is it going to happen? We remember that the conversation around the movement as the Yoruba self-determination all started about 3 years ago. And within that 3 years, we have had so much, and there's still a lot to be discussed, so much to be reviewed as well. But one thing I can confirm now is, after all the deliberation, after all the discussion in the last 3 years, we were promised that there will be a rally by all our leaders. And I remember, if I go back into my notebook, where on the October 8th precisely, we were told by Professor Banji Akintoye during one of our engagements with him that we would hold what is called a super rally. And so many people have been asking questions, concerns around this rally. And all these I will try and explain tonight. Check your WhatsApp, please. I will try to explain as much as I can around these. But one thing everybody would like to know is, are we, the Yorubas, as we have said, going to have this super rally? And I have always, from the information given to us, that the rally will come true. And we will also be giving as many other information around what next. But there has been a lot of other conversation on how are we going to achieve the Yoruba nation that we've been talking about. But if we play back some of our engagement on the platforms here on Naija Voices and our sister broadcast, and so many people that have been having this conversation, that is it possible that a particular people will be given opportunity to leave a country that they've lived together for 62 years through the independence, or for those that have been together since the merge of what is called Nigeria in 1914 amalgamation. So many people are in doubt about it. But we have been promised something, that the Yorubas would have no other reason to remain in Nigeria if we really want to succeed. And this is why the question around the movement have been something that so many people have asked, that election is coming in 2023, and there is this agenda that we would all be taking into 2023. Some of us have questioned whether that is literally possible, that since we have been told by those that are leading the front of the movement that we would leave Nigeria, how people have questioned that as well. That how do you plan to leave Nigeria knowing fully well that Nigeria is a sovereign nation? How do you plan to do so? And what are the criteria that would allow us to leave Nigeria is another question that people have asked. Bear with us because we are also connecting to the sister radio platform here as well. So I say good evening that have joined us across the globe. We have explained that our right to self-determination is allowed. We have given reason why we should leave. But the question around leaving Nigeria has always been the main important question, since we have an election that is going to hold next year, February, in Nigeria. So that has given a lot of people concern that there is no way you can leave a sovereign nation to have your own nation, since your politicians, your kings, and so many other individuals that are known as elderly people have not actually agreed to that. One thing I can say tonight is, in every movement, there will be ups and downs. And part of those ups and downs, we have gone through that a lot in the last 3 years of this particular movement. We've seen the best of it. We've seen the ugly part of it. We've had a lot of different accusation upon accusation. Some have even asked the genuinity of those that are running the movement, whether they are sincere, whether they have the sincerity to take us out of Nigeria. Some have questioned whether there will be bloodshed, because if you are asking that you want to come out of a country, you are literally also calling for war. But some of our leaders have told us that that is not something that we should put forward, because we want to live peacefully. And living peacefully means that we would engage the international community. We would discuss with countries that might have maybe some sympathy with us. And all these engagements continue. But today, after 3 good years, the movement is still standing very strong. In the midst of so many people thinking that the movement will end without a fruitful result, a lot of people are now understanding that this movement must have a final result. I'll tell us everything we need to understand that coming out from Saturday the 17th is not because we want to prove anything more than the fact that we just want to tell the world that we would like our right to self-determination to be respected by the federal government of Nigeria. And that is exactly what is going to happen. We would not be coming out to confront the government. We will not be coming out to confront the security agency or security personnel. We are actually going to be coming out this Saturday, the 17th of December, to showcase who we are as Yoruba people. I know that a lot of us were told that the rally will be held in different towns simultaneously. But the current update that we've got at the moment says the super rally kickstart from Ogun State on the 17th, Saturday, December 2022. So the expectation that some of us have probably been planning that this rally will hold simultaneously in Lagos State, in Ogun State, in Kogi State. There will be more updates that will be coming through according to the information that will be passed to us and all other media network across Nigeria and outside the country. I know that there's a lot of people that are still having questions that they would like to ask. And we will continue to take some of those questions later on, whether on this program or during some of our other programs that we do. But this is not the time for us to now lay back and sit behind the fence for those of us that are clamoring for our right to self-determination, which is allowed under the United Nations Charter. Self-determination is not a crime as long as you are doing exactly how you're expected to do it. At no point has any one of our leaders asked anybody, and I repeat, to carry any kind of arms against the security personnel in Nigeria. There's nowhere in any of the broadcasts from our leaders that we should attack any security personnel. And that has been part of why this movement have been different. If we look back to all the rallies up to the last rally that was held over the weekend last week, we have seen that the Yoruba people have behaved exactly as what we called Omoluabi. So these Omoluabi that we have actually worked for the last 3 years, we must not lose our guard from Saturday. We must continue to remain with that ethos of Omoluabi that we are known to be. There will be a lot of different people that will be traveling down to Ogun State from this weekend. Some might be arriving a day before. Let us try to accommodate each other. Let us open our hands to welcome those that will be traveling into the state, especially those that might want to travel ahead in time. And let us also prepare our mind that as the Ogun State will be kicking off, more information will be moving quickly as we will be preparing to move straight to Oyo State. And within 17th, that these rally kickstart this Saturday, I can confirm that a lot of events, series of events will be taking place as well. So it is important that we follow information that will be released through all the self-determination media, including Star Radio UK. We will increase a little bit more information to circulate that will be authentic. But the first thing we need to understand is our coming out is not fighting the federal government of Nigeria, but we are coming out to tell the international community that we, the Yorubas, known as the indigenous people that have been in existence before the 1914 amalgamation, would like to take back their right to self-determination. The right to self-determination is the right of a people like the Yoruba to determine its own destiny. Our destiny started since when the British Empire decided to lock us in with what is known as Nigeria today. And our destiny must now go back to where it was prior to 1914, which is what we are called, as our real identity is not Nigeria. The task ahead is a big one. But should we all remain focused and work together, we will be able to achieve what we actually want. We will be able to tell the world exactly who we are in a very, very good way, which we have done. Chief Sunday Adeyemo has asked me to tell everyone as we are coming out this Saturday that none of you will be going out without understanding the Omoluabi in us. We are the Omoluabi that has been known around the world, doing great things. And tonight, if anybody is telling you otherwise, let me say clearly, the only official statement is out already. 17th of December, Saturday, the Super Rally kickstart. Don't allow anyone to distort your mind. The information that came directly to me from Chief Sunday Adeyemo, our doctor, to announce to the world that 17th. Some of you might like to know So many things that we might probably not be able to tell you. Like, is Chief Sunday Igboho going to be in Ogun State? These are information that we cannot reveal to anyone. But be rest assured that from the 17th, which is this particular Saturday, a lot of information that will guide us will continue. This is again Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And I say good evening once again. One thing I can tell us is, it is the great news that millions of us have waited patiently for. It is the news that our father, Professor Banji Akintoye, have told us will come. It is the great news that all other leaders have told us would happen. And there is no need for us now to have any doubt. Around what is coming up within the next few days. We are now countdown. Few days. We are now to the super rally that is coming up. And it is important that none of us should get carried away from those that also might start telling you that there is nothing called super rally. I will not say more than what I have said already. At exactly 18:42 p.m. local time in London, that the official date for the super rally is now out in the public domain. Should anyone, anyway, both home and abroad, say anything otherwise, they are probably or not in line with the information from Benin Republic directly from Dr. Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho. And one thing I can tell us is, we are now into that important part of our campaign that has been peaceful. We are not coming out, I repeat again, as a confrontation to any security personnel. We are coming out to tell the world that our right to self-determination must now be respected. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń gbọ́ wa, and we're going to be speaking a bit of our language because of the kind of message that we are delivering tonight. We've started with the English so that those of our listeners from all African countries would not be lost in the language that has been in existence for thousands of years that I'm going to be speaking right now. The most beautiful language, the most respected language, which is the Yoruba language. Let me tell you that we are now in that important part of this movement. So we're going to switch slightly to our language, but we will still come back before the end of the program to discuss further. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń bẹ nílé àti ọmọ Yorùbá tí ó ń bẹ lẹ́yìn odi. Akálẹ́ adẹ̀kú àsìkò níbikíbi tí a bá wà. Mo kí wa pé a dúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè fún wákàtí tó fún wa tí a tún fi pàdé lénìí, ìyẹn Wednesday the 14th day of December. Let me speak again to those of you that are still asking to verify the date. The only person that will give you this verified date that we have talked about is myself. And if you have gone to listen to anyone else that is saying otherwise, that has nothing to do with us. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá tó ń bẹ nílé tó ń bẹ lóko, ní ìrọ̀lẹ́ yìí ní bàbá wa olóyè Dr. Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ sí aka Ìgbòho ni wọ́n pè mí pé kí a jáde síta láti sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé in tí a ti ń retí tá ń dúró dè, ìyẹn rally tí a sọ pé ó máa wáyé láti ìjọ Saturday yìí tí a mọ̀ sí 17th of December 2022 ní dédé aago 10 àárọ̀ ni rally náà máa wáyé. Bàbá wa olóyè ló pè mí fúnra wọn tí wọ́n ní pé kí n jáde síta láti kéde yìí. Bí a bá tún wá rí èèyàn kankan ní ibi kankan ni mo sọ tó bá sọ pé ìta ń sọ yìí kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀, a jẹ́ pé ẹni náà kò sí lára àwa ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń dúró de èyí tí bàbá wa Sunday Igboho fi sọ. Bàbá wa olóyè Sunday Igboho ni wọ́n ní ká jáde lágbára ti Elédùmarè tó nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, tó ní wá, tó ní ọkùnrin tó lọ́bìnrin. Ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wà lórí Instagram, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ní kíákíá ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn platform tó kù, nítorí pé bí ẹ bá fẹ́ sọ pé kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀, in the next 5 minutes or less than, a máa gbọ́hùn ti Sunday Igboho directly nísìn lórí platform yìí. Mo sọ fún wa pé nígbàkígbà tí a bá ti sọ pé ó ti yá, tí ọmọ Yorùbá bá sọ pé à ń lọ, bàbá wa ti Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho wọ́n máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ láìpẹ́ yìí, nítorí pé awuyewuye pé kò ní wáyé wá tún bá wa fi ohùn sí. So wọ́n tó ń wà lórí Instagram, ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ kíákíá lórí àwọn platform tó kù torí pé a máa fi fóònù yẹn láti fífi pe Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho live sílùú Benin Republic. Once again, mo kí gbogbo wa tí ẹ ti ń gbọ́ wa tí ẹ dẹ̀ ti ń wò wá pé ẹ káalẹ́ ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. A kú sùúrù torí pé sùúrù tí a ti ń ní sùúrù yẹn báyìí àsìkò ti tó. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá. Orúkọ mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí a máa jẹ́ Olayomi Koiki. Láì fi ọ̀tá pè, bàbá wa Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ti wà lórí ìlà tí wọ́n máa fi àǹfààní kékeré láti fi bá gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá sọ̀rọ̀ láti orí Star Radio UK, ìyẹn radio station tó ń polongo fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tí à ń lò nílùú London. Ẹ bá wa gbóhùn sókè bàbá wa, kẹ bá wa kí gbogbo àwọn aráalé tó ń gbọ́ wa.
Kí ẹ̀yin bàbá mi, mo kí ẹ̀yin màmá mi, mo kí ọmọdé, mo kẹ́ brother, mo kẹ́ sister mi ní orílẹ̀ gbogbo àgbáyé níbikíbi tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá bá wà. Mo kí ẹ káàárọ̀, ẹ káàsán, ẹ káalẹ́. Ọlọ́run bá tó láyé tó lọ́run kò ní dójú tì wá. Àádẹ́jọ délẹ̀ lérí láyọ̀ láṣẹ Ọlọ́run. Ẹnìkan kò ní jábọ́, gbogbo ilẹ̀ máa kéré òkú délé láṣẹ Ọlọ́run. Ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ẹ̀dẹ̀ wálé náà àjọ délẹ̀ lérí láṣẹ Ọlọ́run. Ojú ò ní tì wá. Mo ń fi àsìkò yìí opportunity kékeré tí mo ní yìí mo fi ń ṣàlàyé fún gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá tó yẹ pé a nífẹ̀ẹ́ òmìnira àdẹ̀fẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè wa ní kíákíá pé ìkan náà ní gbogbo wa a nídìí àti bára wa jà. Àwa Yorùbá la ní kọkùnrin oréjò kóbìnrin ọ̀pá kéjò wọn ti lọ ní o. Mo ń fi àsìkò yìí bẹ̀ wá, ẹ má jẹ́ ká bára wa jà, ká ṣera wa lọ́kàn, kájọ jáde, kájọ béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ ìjọba Nàìjíríà. Àwọn òbáyàn àbáyàn jà àdẹ̀sí kankan, kò sí kankan tá a ṣe. Ohun tá a sọ fún ìjọba Nàìjíríà ni pé enough is enough, a fẹ́ òmìnira. Pípa tó ń pa wá, tó ń jí wa gbé, tí wọ́n ń ba dúkìá wa jẹ́, ó ti tó. Àwọn bàbá wo lè lóko, wọn lè lódò. Ohun tá a ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ Nàìjíríà rè tí wọ́n ní ká mórí wá, káwá gbàdì. Àwa dẹ̀ sọ fún wọn pé sẹ́ ọmọ ọkọ Yorùbá ni wá, òmìnira là ń fẹ́. Àwọn òbáyàn jà àbẹ́nìkankan jà. So mo fi àsìkò yìí rọgbọ mídíàs wa kí gbogbo ọjọ́ panupọ̀, kájọ fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀. Ìkan náà ní gbogbo wa. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká bára wa jà, ẹ má jẹ́ ká búra wa, ẹ má jẹ́ ká bára wa jẹ́ mọ́ àdéhùn gbogbo nǹkan báyìí. Àsìkò yà nídìí ẹ má jẹ́ kéèdì mú wa, èdè òní dì wá, ayọ̀dẹ̀ nílẹ̀ òní yọ̀ wá. Wàhálà wa ò ní pé ẹ jẹ́ ká ro gbogbo ẹ̀jẹ̀ àwọn tó ti lọ, káwọn ìjọba mùjẹmùjẹ ti padà mú lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ dákun, ẹ jẹ́ ká ro gbogbo àwọn wàhálà àti gbogbo ìnáwó tí gbogbo ti ná, ẹ ti náwó, ẹ ti nára. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wo dúró ṣinṣin gbogbo wa, ẹ má jẹ́ ká bára wa jẹ́, ẹ má jẹ́ ká bára wa jẹ́ mọ́ nǹkan kan náà gbogbo wa. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ mo fọlọ́ bẹ̀. So rálì máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ nípa ẹ gbogbo ọmọ ọkọ Yorùbá tẹ́lẹ̀ ti ṣetán. Ẹ̀sìn rẹ́dí àti gbòmìnira yín, tó mẹ́rin kankan lọ́wọ́, ìkan náà gbogbo wa. Ẹ jẹ́ gbogbo ọjọ́ jáde pọ̀ láti on the 17th ní rálì ti máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní pẹrẹwu. So àtọmọdé àtàgbà mo rọ̀ wá, ẹ jẹ́ ká jáde ká túyàyà láti béèrè fẹ́tọ̀ wa lọ́wọ́ ìjọba Nàìjíríà. Ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́.
Ẹ ṣé gan bàbá wa.
Sunday Ìgbòho.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Òun ni a ti gbọ́ yẹn. Ẹni bá tún wá sọ nǹkan míì lẹ́yìn tí bàbá wa Dr. Sunday Ìgbòho sọ, a jẹ́ pé ẹni náà wà pẹ̀lú ìrìn àjò yìí mọ́. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, ohun bàbá wa Sunday tí a fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dárúkọ, òun la gbọ́ tán yẹn tí wọ́n fi tó wa létí pé 17th kí gbogbo wa ká túyáyà ká jáde. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, I say good evening and welcome. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún gbọ́ orin wa tí a fi máa ń ṣe kíni, tí a fi máa ń gbádùn pé sẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè là ń jà fún, kò sẹ́ni tó ń jà fún kankan ju pé à ń fẹ́ òmìnira. Ẹ̀tọ́ wa là ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ ìjọba Nàìjíríà. Ẹ̀tọ́ wa yẹn kò ń ṣe pé a fẹ́ fi jà, a fẹ́ fi dà lúrú. Ẹ gbádùn orin yà ń bọ̀. Orílẹ̀-èdè 17th is confirmed. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá ní tẹ́ bá lè fi ràn àwọn èèyàn yín nílé ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí fi ránṣẹ́ sí wọn láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà. All we want is freedom, and that is our right to self-determination. We're coming out on the 17th of December. A very good evening. This is Naija Voices. Breaking news: Chief Sunday Adeyemo have spoken. "17th of December, the Super Rally officially starts." That was the voice direct call to Benin Republic from Chief Sunday Adeyemo, our doctor. If you've just joined us, you're listening to Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Tell somebody to tell somebody that the 17th is now our first outing for the Super Rally. This is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. A tún máa gbọ́ voice yẹn lẹ́ẹ̀mejì sí mẹ́ta ká tó parí ètò lálẹ́ yìí. Ẹni tó bá ṣẹ̀ ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, bàbá wa Sunday Igboho, wọ́n ṣẹ̀ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ tán láìpẹ́ yìí ni. I say good evening and welcome to Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. It is the finest. This is where you can get all the authentic news. Ibi báyìí gangan ni ẹ ti máa gbọ́ gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ. Ìgbòho bàbá wa lọ́sẹ̀ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ tán láìpẹ́ yìí. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé sẹ́ a kú oríire pé adájọ́ ọjọ́ ti pé kò sí pé àní-àní níbẹ̀. Ẹni tó bá ti ń sọ pé àìtí rẹ́dì ẹ sọ fẹ́ nìyẹn pé kò mọ tó ń sọ. Tó bá ti bá ọ́díò yẹn pàdé a ti ń pín káàkiri, ìwọ náà tètè sọ fẹ́ni tí kò tí gbọ́ pé ó ti gbóhùn bàbá wa Dr. Sunday Igboho lórí Star Radio UK ní alẹ́ yìí tí wọ́n ti confirm pé 17th òun náà ní ọjọ́ tí a mú. Bó bá jẹ́ pé àdúrà ló mọ̀ ṣe tètè wọnú ilé àdúrà lọ, tó bá jẹ́ pé o fẹ́ jáde pẹ̀lú wa ni tètè máa gbọ́n bàtà ẹ nítorí pé 17th òun ní ọjọ́ tí a mú Super Rally ó máa bẹ̀rẹ̀. Yoruba nation lafe, that is all we are asking for. We are asking for our right from the federal government of Nigeria. Once again, a very good evening and welcome. Welcome to Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Bàbá wa doctor lọ́sẹ̀ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ tán a tún máa gbóhùn wọn sí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí I'll be replaying that rather in just about a few minutes after this music. A kí bàbá wa Ìbà Gani Adams, a kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ OPC lógún ọ̀fẹ́ o. A kí gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan, this is where we will know ẹgbẹ́ wo gangan ló máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣe the activation láti jẹ́ kí gbogbo tó yẹ kó ṣẹ́kù ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá fún rally tí ó ń bọ̀ yìí. Mo fi àsìkò yìí mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ the US chapter of Ìlànà fún àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n ti fi ránṣẹ́ sí wa, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. And let's allow that to go right now. So as we are now going to be, repeating the audio that we've just listened to in just about a few minutes from now, I would like to say thank you so much to every one of you that have joined us from all over the globe. As we are saying, it is now confirmed, it is now official. The Yoruba Super Rally will go ahead as planned. Once again, a very good evening and welcome. Let's see if we can get that sound back again. This was when Chief Sunday Igboho spoke to us live at just about almost, I didn't catch the time, but I guess it was literally just before 7 p.m. local time here in London.
Olayomi Koiki láì fi ọ̀tá pè bàbá wa Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ti wà lórí ìlà tí wọ́n máa fi àǹfààní kékeré láti fi bá gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá sọ̀rọ̀ láti orí Star Radio UK ìyẹn radio station tó ń polongo fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tí à ń lò nílùú London. Ẹ bá wa gbóhùn sókè bàbá wa kẹ bá wa kí gbogbo àwọn aráalé kí wọ́n gbọ́ wa. Kí ẹ̀yin bàbá mi, mo kí ẹ̀yin màmá mi, mo kí ọmọdé, mo kẹ́ brother, mo kẹ́ sister mi ní orílẹ̀ olé gbogbo àgbáyé níbi kíbi tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá bá wà. Mo kí ẹ káàárọ̀, ẹ káàsán, ẹ káalẹ́. Ọlọ́ba tó láyé tó lọ́run kò ní dójú tì wá adẹ́jọ́ délé lérí láyọ̀ láṣẹ Ọlọ́run ẹnìkan kan ní jábọ̀ gbogbo ilẹ̀ máa kéré òkú délé láṣẹ Ọlọ́run ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́dẹ́ wálé náà àjọ délé lérí láṣẹ Ọlọ́run ojú ní tiwa mo ń fi àsìkò yìí opportunity kékeré tí mo ní mo fi ṣàlàyé fún gbogbo àwọn Yorùbá pátápátá tó yẹ pé a nífẹ̀ẹ́ òmìnira àdẹ̀fẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè wa ní kíákíá ìpè ìkan náà ní gbogbo wa ànídìí àti bára wa jà àwa Yorùbá la ní kọkùnrin oríjò obìnrin ọ̀pá kéjọ wọn ti lọ ní o wọn fi àsìkò yìí bẹ̀ wá ẹ má jẹ́ ká bára wa jà ká síra wa lọ́kàn kájọ jáde kájọ béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ ìjọba Nàìjíríà àwọn báyàn àbáyàn jà àdẹsẹ kankan kò sí kankan tá a ṣe ohun tá a sọ fún ìjọba Nàìjíríà ni pé ẹnà kò sẹ náà afẹ́ òmìnira pípa tó ń pa wá tó ń jí wa gbé tí wọ́n ń ba dúkìá wa jẹ́ ó ti tó àwọn bàbá wọlé lóko wọlé lódò ohun tá a ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ Nàìjíríà rè tí wọ́n ní ká mórí wá káwá gbàdí àwọn àdé sọ fún wọn pé sẹ ọmọ ọkọ Yorùbá ni wá òmìnira là ń fẹ́ àwọn báyẹn jà abẹ́lé kankan jà so wọn fi àsìkò yìí lọ́gbẹ́ mídíàs wa kí gbogbo ọjọ́ panupọ̀ kájọ fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ìkànnà gbogbo wa ẹ má jẹ́ ká bára wa jẹ ẹ má jẹ́ ká búra wa ẹ má jẹ́ ká bára wa jẹ mọ́ àdéjì gbogbo nǹkan báyẹn àsìkò yà nídìí ẹ má jẹ́ kéèdì mú wa èdè onídìí wa ayọ́dẹ̀ nílẹ̀ oníyọ̀ wa ẹ wàhálà wọn ni pé ẹ jẹ́ ká rọ gbogbo ẹ̀jẹ̀ àwọn tó ti lọ káwọn ìjọba mùjẹmùjẹ ti pàdánù lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ dákun ẹ jẹ́ ká rọ gbogbo àwọn aláwọ̀ tí gbogbo ìnáwó tí gbogbo ti ná ẹ ti náwó ẹ ti nára ẹ jẹ́ ká wo ìdúró ṣinṣin gbogbo wa ẹ má jẹ́ ká bára wa jẹ ẹ má jẹ́ ká bára wa jẹ mọ́ nǹkan kan náà gbogbo wa ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ọmọ fọlọ́ bẹ̀ so rálì máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ nípa ẹ gbogbo ọmọ kọ Yorùbá tẹ́lẹ̀ ti sẹ́pá ẹ̀sẹ̀ lẹ́dí àti gbòmìnira yín ẹni tó mẹ́rin kankan lọ́wọ́ ìkànnì gbogbo wa ẹ̀jẹ̀ gbogbo ọjọ́ jáde pọ̀ láti on the 17 ní rally ti máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní pẹrẹwu so àtọmọdé àtàgbà mo rọ̀ wá ẹ̀jẹ̀ ká jáde ká túyà yà láti béèrè ìfẹ́ tọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ ìjọba nàìjíríà ẹ̀sìn wọn fẹ́. ẹ̀sìn kan ọ̀rọ̀ Sunday Ìgbòho. ẹ̀sìn kan ni òun ni a ti gbọ́ yẹn ẹni bá tún wá sọ nǹkan míì lẹ́yìn tí bàbá wa Dr. Sunday Ìgbòho sọ a jẹ́ pé ẹni náà wà pẹ̀lú ìrìnàjò yìí mọ́ ṣùgbọ́n ohun bàbá wa Sunday tí a fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dárúkọ òun la gbọ́ tán yẹn tí wọ́n fi tó wa létí pé 17th kí gbogbo wa ká túyáyà ká jáde.
Well, as we are now just 1 hour into the program, let's now come into some other conversation around some of the headlines from Nigeria today. Once again, a very good evening, and I welcome you from wherever you're watching us across the globe. My name is Olayomi Koiki, and as we do every Wednesday here, we talk about everything that needs to be known. We will play that, track, that audio before the end of the program. I know there's a lot of people that have different questions around, what is about to start. We would be we'll be talking about that. And we would also, allow you, not tonight, but later on, we will give you every opportunity to be able, to make sure that you are also carried along. Everybody will be carried along, and I'm telling you that is definitely going to happen. Once again, a very, very good evening to those of you that have joined us from around the globe. My name once again is Olayomi Koiki. As we say, there is a lot, to discuss, and we will still be discussing that right here on this particular platform. I want to move swiftly to the conversation around what President Muhammadu Buhari actually said, in America, that actually gave me a bit of, is it the same thing that we've been talking about? Should we now say that if this is coming from the president himself, should we say that maybe, just maybe, the president realized this after 7.5 years? This particular government has been going on for 7.5 years now. But a lot of people have questioned. Last week, if you remember, we actually had a conversation around, President Muhammadu Buhari, and right now, I'd like to ask this question that if the president is saying that he has actually tried his best, if the president says, I have tried my best, or I have done my best for Nigerians, Buhari tells, some gatherings in the United States of America, as we know that the president traveled out of Nigeria on Sunday for the leadership summit between American government and likewise the other African leaders as well. Also, we know Ghana president also spoke, to Buhari. We're telling you all that in some of those headlines that I was able, to pick up, in the paper today. So if you've just joined us, sit back now and let's take you through, that for at least some time. We know that there's a lot. As we speak, Nigeria is ranked third worst place globally in terms of unemployment. A lot of our people are unemployed. A lot of people do not have, what we can say, employment. So many people have graduated in Nigeria and they are yet to get a job. We're going to come back to that, later on. But the most important conversation now is, now that Buhari is saying, according to the paper today, I have done my best for Nigerians. Buhari tells the U.S. gathering. There are a few things they mentioned. That is some of the reason why we are saying that Nigeria is just too big, to be controlled from the center. Nigeria, as a country with over 206 million, out of that is about 133 million out of school. Is it possible to continue, to live in illusion, to live in denial that Nigeria is no longer, visible, capable rather, to take care of its citizens? Is that not something much better, to have, smaller nations, coming out of Nigeria? It's not the first time that countries will go into dissolution. We saw Yugoslavia, we saw the Soviet Union, and we've seen some of those countries that came out of this particular union that have now done so well for their citizens. But today, Buhari says, and I quote, I have done my best for Nigerians. Do you agree that the 7.5 years of President Muhammadu Buhari, he has done his best? What is your take on that? Do you think that President Muhammadu Buhari under the APC have done his best in the last 7.5 years? I mean, this government have less than 2 months to leave office. That is if an election will hold next year, with a lot of situation that is currently in the country as we speak right now. The insecurity, the jihadis trying to take over Nigeria, the coup plotters that are still planning to overthrow, the government, just as Buhari was able to overthrow Shehu Shagari regime in the 80s. So, as the self-determination, the Biafra, the Middle Belt are asking questions, about their right to self-determination. There are some groups that are asking that the 1999 Constitution cannot be used anymore. It needs to be taken down should we want to continue to have a country. Some are asked, if Nigeria can be restructured. We had Atiku over the weekend on Sunday on one of the mainstream media back in Nigeria, when he was actually asked the question around the Biafra. I'll be looking into that. But I'm still focusing the conversation around what President Muhammadu Buhari is telling, some of those gatherings in the U.S. And part of what he said is, we are big in size and population, and also that Nigeria is facing many challenges in many areas. But he says, we are trying. In the 7.5 years, I have done my best. Do you think that President Muhammadu Buhari have actually done his best in the last 7.5 years is the question I'm asking a lot of you that are watching us from all over the globe. I'll be reading some of your comments, I'll be reviewing some of your conversation for those of you that have joined us online. But one thing is, do you think that President Muhammadu Buhari have done his best? Do you think that Nigeria president, okay, somebody is asking, Pastor Strategy saying, the real question is what did he do, with a question mark, which is quite understandable. James Lincoln said Buhari is referring to the Fulanis. Buhari has done well for the Fulanis as a Fulani leader. Ifelua, Elizabeth, good evening. Plan B, good evening. And good evening, Mickey Babs. No chance, he did nothing. Keep the comment coming. I'll be reading some of your comment as well. Abdurrahman Al-Bayomi says, capital failure for President Muhammadu Buhari. Once again, if you've just joined us, the Super Rally kickstart this Saturday, and we are now countdown, to the Super Rally. And we've actually had directly as well from Benin Republic when Chief Sunday Igboho spoke to us right here on Star Radio UK. And he's a very, very busy man, and we can only say thank you for giving us that 2 minutes to speak with us. Buhari do well to lock our visa in Dubai. So what you're saying is, since Buhari came to power, you've not been able to renew your your resident permit in Dubai. Can you explain further? Once again, if anybody is saying anything otherwise regarding the Super Rally, do not be distracted. Let us remain focused. Nobody has the authority to issue, the Super Rally call, and the only person that have done so, we've heard his voice, and the spokesman has spoken as well. Should anybody be saying otherwise, they are probably just wasting their energy and they are wasting their time, because President Buhari also, at some point at the United Nations, was asking for the right of the Palestinian, to the self-determination. Once again, 17th of December is go ahead. But let's leave that. I'm going to come back to that. Let's not be distracted. Good evening to you, Mrs. Bimileke, and thank you for joining us. King Mirado say Buhari has failed. Don't worry about, if anybody's saying otherwise about the 17th, let's just remain focused now on the next conversation. Has Buhari done his best? Abiola Oluwade say, yes, he has done his best. We have seen it all already. He said we shall see changes, and we have seen enough changes. Everything is now upside down, and Nigeria is now in a conflict war. Wow. Good evening to you, Abayomi Mayowa. You actually said negative impact and bad to worst for the past 7 years. What is something that you can look back as a citizen of Nigeria and ask yourself that, as my president, he has done well? You must be able to have done something well. Good evening to you, House of Commons TV. Welcome to Star Radio UK, where we are also broadcasting on our sister channel as well. Keep your comment coming, and let's see what people are saying on the Star Radio UK comment section as well. I'm not sure whether that is on. Let me refresh quickly and see if we have that on. Yes, it's actually on. So let me appreciate those of you that are actually watching us directly on the Star Radio UK platform. And I say good evening, to Api Rashid. You also say good evening, Baba. One love, no going back, Yoruba Nation. And I hope you are aware that 17th of December is where the Super Rally kickstart. Royal Adi, the wait is finally over. The gods of the land protect us. Ashe. Also, Kayode Jamil, with a lot of teddy bears there as well. Let's take a look at more people that are watching us again. Ijoba Kofo. Maybe you want to rephrase that. Sheyidari. Good evening to you, Kunle Adeyemi, watching us on Star Radio UK. And those of you, Ade Tumbi Mukaila, it is King AY. Good evening to you. Good evening to those of you in Ondo State. Good evening if you're joining us in Ekiti State, in Osun State. Good evening to you if you're watching me from Kogi State, Kwara State, Ogun State, 17th. I hope some of you will arrive in time for that rally on the 17th, Saturday, by God's grace. Good evening to you in Lagos State. Good evening to you in, have I missed any state? Well, if you're watching us from the northern part of the country, you can also make your way down for the Super Rally. We ask good evening to all our listeners on the Mix LR, and I say welcome to Star Radio UK. Omogbolawan Obat say Baba has encouraged the Japa syndrome to be increased day by day in business entity called Nigeria. For those that are not from Nigeria, whether you're watching me from Kenya, Congo, Togo, Uganda, or you're watching us from different parts of the globe, Japa is where a lot of Nigerians are trying to run out of the country, to get a greener pasture because of the insecurity, because there is no education. And as I was actually saying, again, part of what Buhari government have done in Nigeria is it has actually made Nigeria the #1 poverty capital of the world, with about 133 million Nigerians currently living in abject poverty. That is a good thing that Buhari has done, and we are grateful to him for the last 7 years. Also, according to the headline, Nigeria has now been ranked #3 worst place in the world for workers to be laid off. So, tó o bá gbọ́n tá à ń sọ níbẹ̀ yẹn, Nàìjíríà ní igbá kẹta ní gbogbo àgbáyé níbi títọ́ bá ti lé èèyàn kúrò níbi iṣẹ́, as a lot of Nigerians are crying on a daily basis in the last 7 years, asking why Nigeria part of what Buhari has done is by kidnapping and rendition Mazi Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria. And yet, even though the court have acquitted, discharged, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but yet President Muhammadu Buhari have not been able to release him as well. Part of what Buhari has also done is a good one. A lot of Nigerians are no longer able to afford loaves of bread. I remember back in the days, you will be able to eat agege bread with ewa goyin. I'm not sure a lot of people can afford that anymore. These are part of what Buhari has done. They have also changed the currency. I mean, the one I have here, I'm not sure whether this would no longer become, useful apart from become a souvenir. But what we can say is, according to information coming out, Buhari government under the CBN governor Emefiele have changed the currency, and it's so beautiful. But we now find out that there's about 89 trillion naira, 89 trillion naira that is being used at stamp duty that cannot be accounted for by the CBN. That is what Buhari has done as well. Also, we've seen President Muhammadu Buhari, making sure that we now have, the wife that is feeding fat on Nigeria, but rather, when you speak about that, the wife of the president, you would then, be kidnapped in the university and you would eventually, be taken away. That is part of what President Muhammadu Buhari's government have done. Also, the injustice that is happening in Nigeria today. Let's take a look at that other second headline. Employment. Nigeria ranked third worst place globally to be laid off. Nigeria has been ranked the third worst place in the world for workers to be laid off. How many of you are still in any kind of employment? Mrs. Sarah Oyilowo say he has tried for putting everybody into suffering and killing of all citizens. Walek Salami said the problem is if we don't appreciate Buhari for now, I'm sure by the time another person take over, we will know true if he has tried or not. Abayomi Mayowa, thank you so much. Afusho, the rally has been declared. Yes, we've talked about that, and we'll be talking about that as well. Once again, if you've just joined us and you're wondering where you are currently on Star Radio UK, where we have been reviewing, what Buhari actually said, in his trip currently. Ebenezer Olaniyan say, that good news, God will fight the battle along with us. Yoruba nation, no going back. Yes, what we are doing is allowed under the international law. Do not allow. Good evening to you, Mrs. Comfort, and welcome as well. Olakunle say it will go down history, that history lane, that President Muhammadu Buhari really paved way for the freedom of the indigenous people, forced together to form the British company called Nigeria. Maize Gold, let the party begin on the 17th is our date, and say, yes, he say. So as we are reviewing all these issues, that we are discussing tonight, let us all continue to tell those that are not aware that December 17 is now the official date for our coming out for the Super Rally. Good evening to you, Mrs. Daza. Liz Dada, rather. Good evening to you, daughter of the Zion. Buhari, the killer of the innocent people. There's a lot of killing going on by Buhari government, military in the southeast. Houses are burned down. I am asking the question, is Buhari done enough in Nigeria? Because he's saying that, please, I have done my best. So don't get me involved in your own, whatever you're thinking right now. And I'm asking the question, has President Muhammadu Buhari done his best? This, once again, is Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's remember the NSAS. Multiple numbers of people were killed. So many people are still missing. More people are still in the prison. And let's now look at what actually led to why President Muhammadu Buhari sitting there, removing some, maybe nama, out of his tooth. Even though, there's been a lot of different people saying so much about this man. But he himself is now saying that, look, Nigerians, I have tried my best, please. I don't want to be involved anymore. I'm going to be leaving very soon, going back to Castina, where I'll be able to continue with my cow rearing, even though the cows are not growing. but they're at least, feeding fat on the government, even though we know the insecurity that continue in the country. Nigeria has become number 6 when it comes to the global terrorism index in the world. There is quite a lot going on in Nigeria that you might never know, that it might never come into the limelight. But one thing I can tell us is on Star Radio UK, we will continue up to the last day of this government to talk about what has done. President Muhammadu Buhari says he has done his best for Nigerians despite worsening economic hardship and the insecurity. Buhari, says that what more do you want me to do? And that is something that a lot of question around this conversation is taking us to right now. The president was actually speaking in the United States of America, where he has actually traveled to on Sunday over the weekend to attend the leadership summit that the U.S. government has put together with some of the other African leaders around the globe. But he was having this kind of, sideline conversation with the Secretary General of the Abu Dhabi Forum, Sheikh Ali Mahfoud B. Bayer, and his deputy, Pastor Bob Robert of the U.S., who visited Buhari in Washington, according to the statement that was released by the president media aide, Garba Shehu. Star Radio UK, you can follow us on all the social media handle. Make sure you also subscribe to our Twitter channel, where we will be very busy, especially as the announcement of the Super Rally has now been officially put out to the public domain. The president, according to Garba Shehu, he noted that the work of promoting multi-faith dialogue was as important to the world as it was to Nigeria. But we do know that, Deborah was killed in Sokoto, in May, and you can imagine, was it May or June? Not too sure. We are also, on Friday, Bamishe Anyola Abigail will be buried as well, and we continue to pray for the family, for God intervention. And also, let us continue to tell the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, that there should be justice for Bamishe. The president also spoke about the need to raise generations of the youth in Nigeria devoid of religious extremism and bigotry. Do you think that we have a lot of extremists in Nigeria? What we have now is even more than extremism. I was watching a video, and I believe these are foreign expatriates that are working in Nigeria that have been kidnapped. 2 of them, I think it's 2 of them or 3 of them. The video has just been released by the Fulani jihadist terrorists, whether it's the ISWAP or the Boko Haram. There's so many terrorist organizations operating within Nigeria, and Buhari is saying he has actually tried his best. Ayobami Mayawa is reminding us that during Buhari time, the Naira downgraded or probably upgraded from 185 Naira to $1 to 870 Naira to the dollar. This is one of the worst government that Nigerians have ever experienced, and we continue to tell the world that Nigeria is now literally at the verge of collapse. But a lot of international community still believe that maybe, just maybe, we can literally save Nigeria. Do you agree with them? Your work is very important in helping, especially the youth, to understand one another and at the same time to be proud of their heritage, stated Buhari. Is Buhari allowing heritage of the Igbo people, the heritage of the Middle Belt people, the heritage of the Hausa people, the heritage of all the ethnic groups in Nigeria to be respected? Is the question. Everybody knows presently, currently, that is not the situation. So why then are we still saying that we should remain as one country? Once again, my name is Olayomi Koiki, and as we continue to review, the issues around, this government, let us say once again that 17th of this month, it is going to be the conversation that we are all been waiting for. Let us remind ourselves let us ask ourselves that nothing is going to change those of us that believe that we should no longer, believe in Nigeria. Believing in Nigeria is going to take us backwards. He really tried, according to Babatunde, his best for making life so hard for the citizens. Things are very costly. Wow. Wow. Quite a lot is going on. I'd like to appreciate those of you that have joined us so far. And I say once again, good evening and welcome to Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. We would be reviewing more again tonight. But one thing is, bear with us. One thing tonight is we have to now understand that as we are moving into a lot of things that is going to be happening around us, let's come back and leave Buhari alone for now, because President Muhammadu Buhari told us that he has done his best. We can see that all the three political parties are also moving around. We will be ending this program at 8 p.m. tonight, and we'll be back again next week, Wednesday. So we have just about 28 minutes left, and I'd like to again to appreciate the team back behind the scene, my producer, Mr. Frank David, and Mr. Archie Amon. But tomorrow, if you have time, join one of our presenters tomorrow that will be looking into the property hour. So now, let me take us through more of the headlines from the dailies before we start winding down. Again, there's rumor, well, not rumor, there is this information that Tinubu left Minna rally early. Could it be health reason? We don't know. But the information that I have on this headline says, why Tinubu left Minna rally, APC, PCC. Wow. We know that Tinubu health has become a concern as well. And a lot of people are asking whether Tinubu is fit enough to become the next president. Remember that Buhari himself have spent more time here in London, coming for medical checkup. So let's take a look at that headline as we look into more other headline as well. According to the Director, Media and Publicity, All Progress Congress Presidential Campaign Council, Bayo Ononuga, has said presidential candidate Bola Tinubu was not rushed off the stage due to health concern at his rally in Minna, the Niger state capital. According to Ononuga, the crowd that turned up to welcome Tinubu at the rally was so massive that the former governor of Lagos State had to address them briefly. He disclosed this in a statement that was shared on their official website. So again, they are defending that nothing has gone wrong. We will wait to see what comes up after that. So Tinubu was not rushed off. He just had to give a brief, quick one. Do you know that the UK government is now opening their doors? If you're a Nigerian teacher, from next year, you'll be able to travel here as long as you are a qualified teacher, according to the information. Star Radio UK, 1934, 14th of December 2022. Nigeria has been listed among African countries whose citizens can now apply for qualified teacher status through the Teaching Regulatory Agency in the United Kingdom from February next year. Also, countries include Ghana, Hong Kong, India, Jamaica, Singapore, South Africa, Ukraine, and Zimbabwe. That is coming from the headline this morning from Nigeria. Again, according to this paper as well, I have done my best for Nigeria, Buhari says. Obi and Kwankwaso promised woman PWD inclusion. That is also coming from Peter Obi Camp and Kwankwaso. Again, as the Ellen Show co-produced DJ Switch dies at 40 years old. Remember, DJ Switch was one of those, former disc jockey and co-producer of the Ellen DeGeneres TV show. Stephen Boss, popularly known as Stitch, has died at the age of 40. That is coming from the headline. I thought it was the same DJ Switch that was working during the NSAS, but not as it is. 12-year-old Nigerian chess champion granted asylum in the U.S. Interesting. A lucky child there. Congratulations to this young man. 12-year-old Nigerian chess champion Tani Adewumi and his family has been granted asylum by the government of the United States of America. Adewumi, who rose to sudden stardom in the 2019 for winning the New York State Chess Championship for his division, was living with his family in a homeless shelter. The Adewumi, comprising Tani Toluwa, his parent, and his older brother, arrived in New York again after fleeing Nigeria in 2017 due to fear of terror attacks from Boko Haram. Again, part of what Buhari has done in making sure that more people traveled out of the country to claim asylum wherever you can find that asylum. So we are happy for the family after fleeing Nigeria in 2007. And let's quickly touch a couple of more before we go on the social media to see what is actually trending on the social media this evening. Funkade Akindele, my latest movie, Farewell, I Am Your Next Lagos Deputy Governor. Interesting. Funke Akindele, I'm sure a lot of you know her. I've actually said our next movie will be Farewell, as she will be the next Deputy Governor of Lagos State. Presidency knocks Kwazura over 89 trillion stamp duty claim. As we know that more people are saying that it seems that the government is aware and is trying to hide something, from Nigeria. Once again, this is Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Once again, I say good evening to those of you that have joined us around the globe. And we welcome you, as we say all the time, your finest African and Caribbean radio station. This is where we discuss issues affecting Nigerians, issues affecting the indigenous people, and so on and so forth as well. We will be taking you through the last segment, which is also to remind ourselves, for those that have lost their life in Nigeria for one reason or the other. Nigeria, as we know, is going through a lot, but more people have died as well. We remember Tolu Lokwe Arotile. We remember, a lot of the Biafrans that have been killed by the Nigerian security personnel. We also remember, others like Jumoke Oyeleke that was actually killed, last year during the rally that was taking place in Nigeria, in Lagos State precisely. As we say right here in the studio, Nigeria's import from Russia has crashed by 92%. That's a very, very, big, problem there. Nigeria's import from Russia has crashed significantly, hitting its lowest this year as the war in Ukraine persists. The foreign trade report of the National Bureau of Statistics for the third quarter of 2022 that was released last week showed that only 1.71 trillion worth of goods was imported from Russia in the quarter. This was a decline of 92.17% from 21.84 billion naira import that was recorded in the second quarter. Nigeria's two major imports from Russia over the years have been, guess what? Wheat and fish. This year, Nigeria has imported various types of fish from Russia. Wow! And we have Ondo State, where there is a lot of, rivers that will give us fish. But rather, okay, somebody is actually Funke, what of Olule, okay? I'll be picking some of your comments again before we go. Once again, a very good evening to those of you that have joined us. We will play one more time the voice of Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho as he spoke to us right here on this live transmission on Star Radio UK about the upcoming beginning of the Super Rally 17th of this month in the next couple of days. Also, yes, we remember Dr. Fatai Aburode. We remember Adogon and Alhaji Fatai. We remember also our brother, our uncle, our father, Benga Owolabi and Rachel Okpadili, both killed by the Fulani terrorists in southwest of Nigeria. As we remember all these individuals, let us also remember those that we will never know because their stories didn't come to the social media as we would have loved to, even though not such a story is one thing we are pleased to be discussing. But these are part of what Buhari has done in the last 7.5 years. Let us remember that nobody can fix Nigeria as it is. It is now our own responsibility. It is now our own conversation to take forward what exactly we want. All the fallen heroes during this movement, we will continue to pray for them, their loved ones, and those that have died because there was a particular sister, a mother, princess that also died a couple of weeks back, and she has been buried. We remember their children, and we say thank you so much for those that continue, to support them one way or the other. Let us remember, nobody can change whatever you want. We have to be the one to bring the change that we want, not the change of the APC that has given us the worst from top to bottom. As we are winding down, these particular segment of Star Radio UK, be rest assured that this time next week, Wednesday, I'll be preparing myself to come back again to discuss issues affecting, Nigerians back home. And also make sure you stay tuned, with all our programs that will be coming up as well. As we are now coming towards the end of this program in just about 15 minutes before I hand over back to Mr. Archie. Good evening to you, Mrs. Beauty Amokwe, Larry Connie on the Instagram. Good evening to everyone that have joined us from around the world. The audio of Dr. Sunday Igboho is already being circulated. Should you come across it, you can also share it to the next person. This is what he asked to say just around before 7 p.m. local time here in London.
Olayomi Koiki láì fi ọ̀tá pè bàbá wa Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho ti wà lórí ìlà tí wọ́n máa fi àǹfààní kékeré láti fi bá gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá sọ̀rọ̀ láti orí Star Radio UK, ìyẹn radio station tó ń polongo fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tí à ń lò nílùú London. Ẹ bá wa gbóhùn sókè bàbá wa, kẹ bá wa kí gbogbo àwọn aráalé tó ń gbọ́ wa. Kí ẹ̀yin bàbá mi, mo kí ẹ̀yin màmá mi, mo kí ọmọdé, mo kẹ́ rọra, mo kẹ́ sísítà mi ní orílẹ̀ gbogbo àgbáyé níbikíbi tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá bá wà. Mo kí ẹ káàárọ̀, ẹ káàsán, ẹ káalẹ́. Ọlọ́run tó la ẹ̀tọ́ lọ́run kò ní dójú tì wá. Adéjọ́ délé ìlérí láyọ̀ láṣẹ Ọlọ́run. Ẹnìkan kò ní jábọ̀, gbogbo ẹlẹ́ máa kéré òkú délé láṣẹ Ọlọ́run. Ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ẹ̀dẹ̀ wálé náà àjọ délé ìlérí láṣẹ Ọlọ́run. Ojú ò ní tì wá. Mo ń fi àsìkò yìí opportunity kékeré tí mo ní mo fi ń ṣàlàyé fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátápátá tí pé a nífẹ̀ẹ́ òmìnira àdẹ̀fẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè wa ní kíákíá. Ìpè ìkan náà ní gbogbo wa ànídìí àti bára wa jà. Àwa Yorùbá la ní kọkùnrin oríjò kóbìnrin ọ̀pá kéjọ wọn ti lọ ní o. Mo ń fi àsìkò yìí bẹ̀ wá. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká bára wa jà, ká síra wa lọ́kàn, kájọ jáde, kájọ béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ ìjọba Nàìjíríà. Àwọn àbáyàn jà, àdẹ̀sẹ̀ kankan kò sí kankan tá a ṣe ohun tá a sọ fún ìjọba Nàìjíríà ni pé enough is enough, a fẹ́ òmìnira. Pípa tó ń pa wá tó ń jí wa gbé tí wọ́n ń ba dúkìá wa jẹ́ ó ti tó. Àwọn bàbá wo lè lóko wọn lè lódò. Ohun tá a ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ Nàìjíríà rè tí wọ́n ní ká mórí wá káwá gbàdì. Àwa dẹ̀ sọ fún wọn pé sẹ́ ọmọ ọkọ Yorùbá ni wá, òmìnira là ń fẹ́, àwọn báyẹn jà, abẹ́ni kankan jà. So mo fi àsìkò yìí lọ́gbẹ́ immediate wa kí gbogbo ọjọ́ panupọ̀ kájọ fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ ìkànnà ní gbogbo wa. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká para wa jà, ẹ má jẹ́ ká búra wa, ẹ má jẹ́ ká para wa jẹ́ mọ́ àdéjì gbogbo nǹkan báyẹn. Àsìkò yà nídìí ẹ má jẹ́ kéèdì mú wa, èdè onídìí wa, ayọ̀dẹ̀ nílẹ̀ oníyọ̀ wa. Wàhálà wa ò ní pé ẹ jẹ́ ká rọ gbogbo ẹ̀jẹ̀ àwọn tó ti lọ káwọn ìjọba mùjẹmùjẹ ti pàdánù lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá ẹjọ́ ẹ dákun ẹ jẹ́ ká rúkú bá wà láwọn tí gbogbo ìnáwó tí gbogbo ti ná ẹ ti náwó ẹ ti nára ẹ jẹ́ ká wo ìdúró sísìn gbogbo wa ẹ má jẹ́ ká para wa jẹ́ má jẹ́ ká para wa jẹ́ mọ́ nǹkan náà gbogbo wa ẹjọ́ fọlọ́bẹ̀ so rálì máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ nípa ẹ gbogbo ọmọ kọ́ Yorùbá tẹ́lẹ̀ ti sẹ́pá ẹ̀sìn lẹ́dí àti gbòmìnira yín ọ̀sán mẹ́rin kankan lọ́wọ́ ìkànnà gbogbo wa ẹ jẹ́ gbogbo ọjọ́ jáde pọ̀ láti on the 17 ní rálì ti máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní bẹ̀rẹ̀ wú so àtọmọdé àtàgbà mo rọ̀ wá ẹ jẹ́ ká jáde ká túyà yà láti béèrè ìfẹ́ tọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ ìjọba Nàìjíríà ẹ̀sìn mọ́tò wẹ̀.
ẹ̀sìn kan ọ̀rọ̀
Sunday Ìgbòho.
ẹ̀sìn kan ni òun ni a ti gbọ́ yẹn ẹni bá tún wá sọ nǹkan míì lé tí bàbá wa Dr. Sunday Igboho sọ a jẹ́ pé ẹni náà wà pẹ̀lú ìrìn àjò yìí mọ́ bàbá ohun bàbá wa Sunday tí a fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dárúkọ òun la gbọ́ tán yẹn tí wọ́n fi tó wa létí pé 17th kí gbogbo wa ká túyáyà ká jáde. Well, that is the message as we go tonight. Let us prepare to support ourselves. For those of us that are outside the country, it is also our responsibility to be coming out this weekend to work in line with those back home. Let us in America, in Canada, across the globe. Already, I'm aware that there's a rally that has been slated for this weekend in Houston, and I hope there will be more rallies across the world as quickly as possible. And when we have those information, we will be releasing that to everyone. The one coming up in Houston that I'm aware of is taking place this Saturday on the 17th as we have it here. Time is also about 12 p.m. local time to 4 p.m. The venue will be El Ridge Q PKWY at West Hima Road, Houston Rally, Yoruba Nation. If you are also going to be organizing one, let us also be giving the information as quickly as possible so that we can share that, especially to all our colleagues that are outside the globe in different parts of the world. As we are saying all the time, we all have a role to play. One of that role is what we are doing from Star Radio UK and our sister broadcast as well, and we will continue to play, that role. What role are you going to be playing, yourself? You can ask yourself as well, and that is the engineer put that out there. Houston Rally coming up on the 17th, the same day that rally is taking place in Ogun State. We're going to be ending all the broadcasts simultaneously, but we'll be back, later on because there's a lot of, meetings that I need to attend as well, and there's a lot of engagement that is going on behind the scene. But one thing I can assure everybody that the rally, as has been announced, it is now for us to prove otherwise. It is entirely up to every one of us to now start calling your loved ones and tell them that Ogun State, this Saturday, we kickstart the Super Rally as we have been told. From there, the next point will be Oyo State. How many days we'll be spending in Ogun State. All these information will be circulated, in due time to everyone that will be traveling either from a very far distance, especially those of you that will be traveling from, Kogi State, Kwara State, and will be making your way down because these are quite a long distance coming into Ogun State. But if you are in Ogun State, please, especially those of us that are living in Ogun State, let us open our hands, let us open our doors For those that might probably want to sleep over, let us accommodate ourselves. This is not the time, to become stingy. Let us remember the Omoluabi in us. Let us remember that, we're all having a role to play. We will continue to play that role, from the media perspective. You can play that role as your individual self as well. This is the message that we will continue, to share with every one of you as well. There will be a lot of support that is also needed. Remember, we told you that we actually sent some goods to Nigeria for the purpose of the rally. We've not been given our invoice, which is about £250. We need to pay that as quickly as possible by tomorrow so that we can be able to receive those goods, and those goods could move swiftly into the venue that it will be needed for, as quickly as possible. Please, if you are going to support, let us know. The donation is voluntary for those of you that would like to support, this particular initiative. Like I said yesterday during the late night conversation, we have now been given the invoice, which is at £250 for those luggage, or package, if you want to put it that way. These were things that people brought here in UK. Send it to me. These are not my personal items. These are things that will be needed on the ground, and I'm sure you will not expect me, to pay £250 out of my own pocket that I wish I have. I would have loved to do so, but since we don't have it, we need to speak to those of you that will be ready to help. Please, we need to make that payment tomorrow so that we can get those goods as well. Also, shout out to Ilana US. They've given us a donation of something that we cannot announce online. But very soon you will start probably getting those that will be saying thank you to those things. We'll be communicating to different, coordinators. Also, I have been given some coordinators should you want to support those on the ground. These are coordinators that have come officially through, again, Dr. Sunday Adeyemo, after having meeting with them. Also, all traveled to Benin Republic to meeting for all kind of meetings. Let me see if I can get their names out quickly. These coordinators are all from different states. We have different coordinators, but these ones, should you want to speak to me, I will give you each of these coordinators. You can get in touch with them directly as well. So let me try and get that information out, which is very, very important, because a lot of people that would like to support are not sure where to put that support. We are hoping that more people, as Baba Kintoye said on October 8th, that the responsibility of looking after our people now is now also in the hands of this diaspora that are outside. Let us remember that Buhari's government in the last 7.5 years has turned our people into abject poverty. And that literally means that we now have a big role to play, to make sure that the success of this outing is all our own responsibility. Okay, bear with me. Let me see. I'm trying to get, I think I might have that information now that was sent to me. Yes, firstly, these are all the list of the main coordinators as I have them with me. In Lagos State, I'm not going to give their numbers online, but I can give you their names, just to have an idea. Lagos State, we have the Kabiyesi Oba Ogboni Abalaye, sorry. Again, Lagos State, Kabiyesi Oba Ogboni Abalaye. Oyo State, we have Comrade Olushola Olalere Alagaode. In Ogun State, we have Abdulaziz Omoba Alokolodo. In Ondo State, we have General Trustina, or also known as General Trustano. And again, the remaining in Osun State, we have Oyedokun Abiodun Aworo Igbowo. In Kwara State, we have JJ Action And also in Ekiti State, we have Fatosin. Kogi State, we have Shegun Idowu. All these are the main coordinators that will be doing a lot of things that you need to support them, in whatever way, as quickly as possible. There's a lot of lists that they've given us, that has been approved also from Benin Republic. Some of those lists we cannot share that here on the live transmission. But what I can say is, should you want to support each of these states, we know we have a lot of other branches of different coordinators, but this one is coming directly and endorsed by Dr. Sunday Adeyemo Igbowo, aka Igbowo. So fún gbogbo àǹfààní àwọn èèyàn wa tí wọ́n ń gbọ́ wa kí a tó máa gbá ẹsẹ̀ ètò ìsílẹ̀, òun ni pé àwọn coordinator tí mo dárúkọ tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́rúkọ wọn lẹ́ẹ̀kan ní gbogbo state kọ̀ọ̀kan, tí ẹ bá ti kàn sí àwa connect pẹ̀lú wọn, ẹ lè ṣe tí ẹ bá fẹ́ ṣe fún wọn, àbí kí ẹ rán àwa náà sí wọn. Àwọn tí wọ́n ní ká dárúkọ lórí gbogbo ètò tí a bá ti ń ṣe nísìn, àwọn láti dárúkọ yẹn. A ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ coordinator náà tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní gbogbo state kọ̀ọ̀kan, but àwọn eléyìí ní oríṣiríṣi iṣẹ́ wà tí ó wà ní ọwọ́ wọn láti ṣe, and they need everyone support as well. As we are now leaving you, I will say thank you so much to everyone that have joined us this evening. We can't go further than this, but I can assure you that we will be back same time next week for more conversation on what we call Niger Voices on Star Radio UK. And this is again, we finish with our track as I hand over back to Mr. Archie. Good evening once again to everyone that have joined us on all the platforms. Good evening to my beautiful mother that have just joined us as well. As I leave you tonight, remember that the responsibility for the success outing of these Super Rally is in care of every one of us. Let us remain our brothers and sisters keepers. Let us remember to be vigilant. We are not going out to become nuisance. We are not going out for any kind of confrontation with the security personnel. We are not going out to become hoodlums. We are not going out to vandalize. We are coming out with a massive drum and all kind of engagement to tell the world that our right to self-determination must be respected. I'm Mini Jubailo. Bye for now. Okay, as much as I would love to stay, I have to go now. Definitely we'll come back for more updates. I have to go now. Emma Benusimi. Let me go. There's more news and update that we'll be giving you, but I have to go now. Have a very good evening. Bye for now.